everybody. Hello. This is a little bit of an impromptu live stream, as you can tell. Yep, I know. And I was a little bit tempted by the empty airwaves, if you can call them that. But something has happened in the recent sort of few hours. Someone contacted me, a little birdie, and said, things are going down in the whole Becky arena. And it's one of my favorite topics. And I was already talking about this earlier today being morning my time. And so I thought, okay, I could save this until my Hearsay for Days stream, which would be a whole week away. But by then, a bunch of other stuff will have broken. And it's by then, like, usually I have to like catch up on so much stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I might instead quickly scurry together, get my little paws together, scurry, and put a little teensy breaking news version of this together and give it to you guys in a little snippet format. And hello, Unbronzed. How are you? Good to see you there. Yes, and hello, Straight. Good to see you too. So yes, I know it's a little bit crazy. I'm doing things a little bit different today, but why not? It is hella breaking news. Yes. And so I'm going to do it like this and like this. Yes, Hearsay for Days, and it doesn't even fit. Fail. I'm already failing all over the place. Let me try and fix it. Yeah, just edit this down a little bit. There we go. There we go. Fixed. Cool. Cool. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm doing a little Hearsay for Days breaking news version, and the breaking news version is just for now, right? Because stuff's happened. Stuff has happened. And it's like just kind of just happened, right? And I had a message and a little bit of notes and things that have come through on my DMs, and I've been like, oh, wow. And then David said, look, no one's streaming. Why is no one streaming? You should be streaming. I'm like, maybe I should. Maybe people would really like to know this stuff. So I quickly shoved it all together in a quick little presentation. It could be a little bit messy, not up to my usual standards, but hey, why not? Let's do it. Hello, Fed. How's it going? Good to see you. Alrighty, let's get into it, shall we? So do you guys remember how there was a photo of Alex Murdaugh, and he was lying in his jail cell whilst he was awaiting going back into the court. And I think he might have even been awaiting his verdict. Not sure. But he was lying in his prison cell, and he had a book, and he was kind of like strewn out. And he was in civilian clothes. He wasn't in like prison jumpsuit or anything like that. This was at the Culloden County courthouse. Do you remember that? Yes, the airwaves are dead. Thank you for streaming for us. No problem, Stray. So there was this famous picture of him, and it came from Becky, right? Apparently. But she didn't take it, apparently, allegedly, all these things. So what we're going to be talking about today is that photo. Now, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to flick to a video, and this is Fitz News. Now, today we were talking on Hearsay for Days, we were talking about Fitz News. Fitz News being a local news provider to the South Carolina area, and they were on the ground at the time of the Murdaugh trial, and everyone was very complimentary of Will from Fitz News and how he reported on the Murdaugh trial. And interestingly, Will was very complimentary of Becky and how she provided such great hospitality to all the media. So let's go now and have a look at what Will from Fitz News is saying at the moment about the latest things that have come out regarding the Ethics Commission complaint about Becky Hill, and in particular in regard to this photo. So I'm just going to flick over now to that. So share this tab, and I'll put it full screen. We're not going to watch the whole thing. We'll just watch this little part.
Adjacent attendant criminal inquiry tied to all of this stuff. But as we looked within these responses, Jen, we're starting to see some discrepancies between what Clark Hill and some of her defenders have been saying publicly and with what is in the complaint now, even by Becky Hill's own admission. I wanted to start with one of these photographs. There's a very famous picture of Alec Murdaugh, apparently taken from a cell phone of a monitor, a computer monitor or screen monitor of some sort, of Murdaugh in his holding cell. And we were told by Becky Hill's co-author they didn't know where this picture came from, and that that this was part of this big conspiracy to get Becky. But we know where the picture came from now, don't we?
Yeah, Becky made it very clear that she had obtained the picture from a former law enforcement officer who was a member of the clerk of court staff during the trial. He used this, according to her response, he used his cell phone to take the picture from the public security camera. And that is, she's saying that is the security camera system that was in the, when everybody walks into the courthouse in Colleton County. She then, after the trial, forwarded that image to Melissa Gordon, who is the wife of her co-author, Neil Gordon. So she said that she didn't encourage or suggest that the photograph be released in a public forum. But as we know now, Melissa uploaded it to Facebook as part of promoting their book, Behind the Doors of Justice.
And
Hello.
Neil Gordon, of course, is the guy who's been threatening to sue everybody, who's been going a little bit nuts in response to these allegations. This is the guy who, apparently has now clearly been lying about the provenance of this image. But Jen, let me ask you this question. The bigger issue here, we keep hearing that there is this vast conspiracy to frame Becky Hill as part of an effort to get Alec Murdaugh a new trial. And in fact, we're hearing from some of the shrill voices that we've heard from in the past on some of this stuff that this is all part of Duffy Stone's effort to get Becky, the solicitor down there in the 14th Circuit. I wanted to talk with you about that because we now have intelligence. Obviously we reported exclusively that Solicitor Stone sent this case to the Attorney General, asking him to impanel a grand jury, and the Attorney General in response took jurisdiction over the cases. He has yet to make a decision regarding what to do with them. We're going to talk about that in a second. But Jen, this notion of a vast conspiracy to undermine Becky Hill.
Conspiracy. That's what it is.
We're not seeing that so far in the evidence and documents we're uncovering, are we? I mean, obviously she's alleging it, but we're not seeing anything to back that up, are we?
Never lie.
I mean, a former employee filing an ethics complaint, you can say that is, a conspiracy against her. She's mad. She wants to run for office. But if what is in the complaint is true, then it doesn't matter her motivation for filing that complaint. So,
no.
And I'm just not seeing, if you're saying it's a conspiracy against you, it doesn't make sense to me because the rationale for the computer, I can't get there. Can you?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's talk a little bit as we look into the evolution of this investigation. I want to talk now about what we've
now. Okay, so here's the deal with these ethics commission complaints, and Neil Gordon has said so. Apparently, someone had a domestic violence order against someone else, and that made him not reliable, didn't like him, la 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 la. Oh yeah, there's all this stuff about why the people who made the complaints aren't very credible, aren't very good people, and it's all just a big conspiracy. Becky would never lie, would never lie. So Becky's a lovely person, and would never have any impropriety. And also in regard to Melissa Gordon, who was Neil Gordon's wife. Remember, Neil is the co-author of the book. What Neil said is, get my wife's name out your damn mouth. Yes, in Will Smith's words. Now, moving back to the photo. And the photo is the one of Alex Murdaugh in his jail cell. And remember what they said. They said that some court officer or something took a photo of a security screen, which was just up in the courthouse somewhere, right? Just up in the courthouse somewhere. We'll come back to that. Oops. Now, share this tab back. Stuff's happened, guys. Right, so as we speak, Becky's hubby is at the courthouse installing 10 new Samsung TVs. And Becky just tweeted, no, he's not. He's out front selling baked goods to keep my ass out of jail. A woman not accepting accountability. Imagine that. Hey. I don't know about American women, but I can admit when I am wrong. I can definitely admit when I'm wrong. I love this Becky Hill account. She's so great. About what's waiting in the business of love, because something's waiting in the bushes for us. Yeah, something's waiting in the bushes of love. Okay. All right. Now, Fitz News has come along, and I'm loving this Will guy now. Like, I wasn't sure about this Will guy a while back because he was all like, those interviews he was doing with Becky back when these complaints were actually just before when the complaints were coming out, when her book was out. And he was all like, oh, Becky, I love your book. Yeah, I wasn't too sure about him. But now I'm really getting into this Will guy. I think he's pretty cool. All right, so he's tweeted, there was a monitor in the clerk's office, and that's Becky, with all of the courthouse cameras displayed. Clicking on one of the screens enlarged the selected camera feed. Images of Alex Murdaugh in his cell were available to the clerk, not to people walking in the halls. Interesting. There you go. Now, I'm not sure who has gotten this photo. Ah, look, it says WLTX.com. Interesting. Now, that's a good photo. Let's look a bit closer at that photo, shall we? Look at the wall behind that photo, behind that camera. Get my words out. Behind the actual screen, right? So the wall behind the screen. Look at the way the divots in the wall are. There's no like windows or anything behind it. It's pretty obvious how that TV screen is set up. And it looks like it might be a Sony. It's kind of hard to read it, but that looks like a little word there at the bottom. It says, I think it's Sony. It's something like that. Interesting. So she's got that in her office. That's her office, allegedly. Now, some redacted commenters. I was told security cameras were all over the court, and a pic was taken from one of those public security cameras. Now, Fitz News has come along and gone, it's clearly not the same monitor. Another lie. Now, my friend Ben has said, who said she took the actual photo? Also, those screens were all throughout the courthouse. Screens of the secure surveillance system all over the publicly accessible areas of the courthouse. Really? Now, that does sound weird, doesn't it, guys? Imagine there's people like the public, they're all walking around the courthouse. Do you think that the people in the courthouse would be able to just see the defendant in his jail cell during the middle of his hearing, of his actual trial? I don't think so, hey. That sounds a little bit far-fetched to me. So, also, do you know about this podcast here? this podcast called True Sunlight is by, I think it's what, Mandy Matney, right? And she is the podcast partner of Eric Bland. Funny that. Very, very much stateside commentators. Let's have a listen to what they have to say on this topic. And I will just hear that. Can you just give me some feedback, guys? Can you hear that? Did you hear that? Otherwise, I may need to, I think I will have to share the tab. I think I do.
Are simply false. For instance, Melissa Gordon did not take a picture of Alec lying in his cell awaiting the verdict. That picture was taken off a security screen. Those screens were positioned all throughout the courthouse. Law are simply false. For instance, Melissa Gordon did not take a picture of Alec lying in his cell awaiting the verdict. That picture was taken off a security screen. Those screens were positioned all throughout the courthouse. Law
Okay, there you go. Right, so that's it.
Are simply false.
No, you don't need to listen to it again. You don't need to listen to that again. Meh, 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 meh. Yeah, right, back to there. Okay, so that's what they have to say about that. Hello. Okay. Oops. No, that's the one we looked at last time. So Mandy, okay, here's what the redacted commenters have to say. Mandy didn't even attend the trial, but now she totally knows that there were cameras in public areas all around the courthouse that showed Alex Murdaugh in his holding cell. How did no one else in the public see them? How would Mandy know any more than any other rando since she wasn't even there? That's an interesting point. So how could she comment like that in that podcast about what else was going on with the security cameras? Shut up, Bobby. And then Ben Smith has come along and gone, well, maybe when you work and live allegedly in an alternate reality. Hey, that's funny, Bobby, that he mentioned that. Alternate reality where truth doesn't matter and misrepresentations of truth and are fine and dandy. You can see all these things that almost no one else can. And then someone else said, didn't the lady that wrote I think that means forward, the forward for Becky's book, say she saw Becky in the lobby looking at the surveillance screen? And Ben Smith says, ding, 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 winner. Yes, she did. Well, interesting. Fitz News came along. That's the ViewSonic monitor at the front entrance of the courtroom. Clearly not the monitor in the Murdaugh holding cell published by the wife of Becky Hill's co-author. All right, so the ViewSonic monitor at the front entrance of the courtroom. Clearly not the monitor in the Murdaugh holding cell image published by the wife of Becky Hill's co-author. Right, so we're talking about a whole nother monitor. And as you can see, it's definitely not the same monitor that we're looking at earlier. In fact, I've gone and put them both together. There they are there. Yeah, like a YouTuber from an imaginary land. Right, so zoom in on the one we were looking at earlier. That's the one in Becky's office over on the right-hand side. And the one on the left-hand side is the one that is sitting in, and I'll show you, it's sitting in the, like, supposedly the main entrance, but it's not like, apparently, it's not like viewable to everybody. It's like sort of in more of like a closed off kind of corridor kind of area so security can see it. One of these is not like the other. Correct. Fitz News said, there was a monitor in the clerk's office with all of the courthouse cameras displayed. Clicking on one of the screens, enlarged the selected camera feed. Images of Alex Murdaugh in his cell were available to the clerk, not to the people walking in the halls. Again, reiterated. I love this Becky Hill account. I took this photo from the hallway monitor. Oh dear. Whoever this is, someone give this person a prize. Because, like, because someone rightly came along and said, like, if you're going to have these monitors just out there for the public to see, it's a security risk because, amongst other things, the prisoners could just moon everybody. And then this not Becky Hill account came along and did this. I love her. She's so great. Moving on. Okay, so then that pic is from Alex's new Playboy. What's that say? Don't show your butthole, that's a security risk. Then Ben came along and said, well, thanks for that insight. No, he wasn't talking to Becky. The draft response is intriguing. The one potential issue I see, the photo Neil and Melissa posted is of a Samsung monitor. Oh, it's Samsung, right? Not Sony. Clearly near a corner of a room. Look at the monitor near the entrance, not Samsung, and definitely not a corner of a wall. Right. Sorry. By the way, guys, if any of you've forgotten that this image here, the bottom right one there, that's the famous image. Right, so this is the image that everyone keeps going on about. Now, I'm going to go forward and show you in greater detail what we're talking about here. So back in August, this was released by Becky Hill. Hill used her political position and authority to obtain, digital images of the defendant and others during the trial. And she's come along and gone patently false, and it's an example of the complainant's I wish I could get that back. Complainant knows there is a public security, something of the courthouse. He's also aware that this monitor is on at all hours during the day. This camera footage can be something from Colleton County Courthouse as they passed by the bailiff's security in the foyer of the courthouse. This is her words. Something during the deliberations of the trial. Gary Hale, a former member of the clerk of court staff, used his cell phone to, I think, take a photo of the public security camera previously referenced that is in the courthouse. Something further, after the trial, Mrs. Hill forwarded the picture to help something. Oh, this is right. No, it's actually, this is not her words. This is Neil Gordon's words. Mrs. Hill forwarded the picture to her to the photo on a social media post. Mrs. Hill did not enter the photograph to be released. Oh, she didn't mean the photo to be released at a public forum. Interestingly, it wasn't. Oh, that's right. It wasn't used in the book Behind the Doors of Justice. Yep, I remember now. So this all in red was a response from Neil Gordon, because remember, he was going around and defending her against the claims made by Jim Griffin and Dick Harpootlian when they were making the complaints against Becky Hill about her jury tampering allegations and also everything that was written in the book. And then this photo and some Facebook posts came out. And it looked like she had been allowing people to have access to the court. And that didn't look good either. So this was him defending her back in August. And note that it's really clearly stated that it wasn't her that took it and that someone else took it, and it was not in her office. It was on another one of the cameras or displays around the courthouse. So that's been written and it's been submitted very clearly, very, very, very clearly. You can hear a noisy minor birds in the background. Yeah, they are aptly named. They are noisy buggers. Yeah, it's all kinds of shady. Yes. Now, there we go, right? So this is the, over here, this one here is the monitor that you can see over here, right? So I know it looks different because it's dark, but this is a much better photo of it, right? So it wasn't the screen at the entrance of the courthouse. That's the screen at the entrance of the courthouse. And as you saw earlier, we'll just go back. Awesome. Forward. Nah. No, back. This is the screen in her office, right? So it's not a Joey bed. It's some minor birds. Aren't they pretty? So this is the way her screen is mounted in her room, right? And we go forward, right? I know this is not zoomed out, but when we can see the actual photo of this zoomed out, it's on a screen, and the screen is on a backdrop that looks exactly like it's on that wall. Oh, I need to find it, and I should have had it for this, but it's hella breaking news, so production value. Only perps. I might just do a search for it in the background whilst we're here. Do a quick search. Okay, moving on. Yeah, that's how they look together. All right. Anyway, join us on Hearsay for Days. I will post it. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? Just everyone chat amongst yourselves. I'm going to do a little search for Alex Murdaugh CCTV photo. Images. Where is it? Maybe it should say jail. I'm getting lots of photos of him with his shirt off, looking up with his shirt off, that one. Maybe I should write Becky. Where is it? Maybe it's been taken down from the interwebs. Maybe there's a conspiracy, people. Maybe I need to put my tinfoil hat on. No. Maybe I should write Facebook. Becky Facebook jail photo. I've taken it down. Oh well, never mind. Okay. Shit, what's that saying? Back to Alex Murdaugh with his shirt off. Shut up, Lefty. Thank you, Stray, for posting that. I need to be up at 2 a.m. tonight, and we start that because they're supposedly starting at lunchtime. I need to double check it. Because I always second guess myself when things don't start at the right time. I'm always like, why? Stray, that's over. That was this morning, my time. But thank you. You're very sweet. What I do need, though, is to post the link to this thing. So Hearsay for Days on X. So if you want to become part of my community, I will find this and I'll put it into my community. So I'm going to now share this tab instead. And here we are. So become part of my community, guys. I now have 12 members after this morning, and I'm going to copy my link and I'm going to put it in chat. So join my Hearsay community. There we go. Like so. And I'm going to give you a very, very quick demonstration. So once you join my Hearsay community, Hello Hearsay on X, what you do is if you have something to share, you just, when you see something that you like, for example, if you go over to your normal trending items, go to Idaho 4, for example, see something that you like, you'll go, okay, I might quote that. So you go to repost and quote. Go repost instead. Hang on. No. Quote. Why won't it let me quote? You drafted post will be discarded before you quote. Okay. Okay, yep. And then instead of posting to everyone, you go to your communities that you're part of, and you can see I'm also part of the Free Zachariah Anderson community. I recommend you become part of that. I'll go Hello Hearsay on X. It will change it from being to everyone to being Hello Hearsay on X. You then go and put a hashtag next to it if you wish. You don't have to, but it helps. And I will go like that. Idaho 4, for example, and you'll see that I already have an Idaho 4. I don't know why there's an Idaho 5. There's not one on in my community, but someone has made one in Twitter generally. And you'll go, hey, everyone, look at what what's his name? Steve Gonclub is saying now. And now it says community members can reply, and only community members will see that, right? And we can all chat about that as we're part of that community. And we go post like so. And now if you go to your communities down the left-hand side of your Twitter or X, you can go into Hello Hearsay, and you can go and flick through all of the different hashtags, or you can just go and see what people have said. And I think I might have had one from somebody today. Finally, someone else besides myself has commented. Where is it? Oh, yes. Peace Penny. Hello, Peace Penny. Thank you for commenting. Finally, I have someone other than me in there. But it's really cool. And also make sure that you become part of the Zach one as well. So if I go to communities and I look at Zach, Zach has 27 or so people in there now. Josie and Solomon are talking. We should all talk in there and support them. So go in there and get the latest on what's happening over there. So yes, Stray, go ahead and share that thing as much as you can. And I will be dropping all sorts of interesting stuff like this kind of thing. So rather than going live whenever something new happens, because I can't, I'll be popping things that might be going into Hearsay for Days on Sundays into there. And I want suggestions, please, from people. Thank you, everybody. And I'm going to be sharing this stream out to the Murdaugh affiliated communities, trying to get some rewatches on this one. That often happens, actually, especially when I go impromptu or if I haven't had a chance to really bother to share things. I do get a lot of rewatch numbers, which is quite nice. Like that Bachelor stream. You know, the Bachelor stream, I just looked today, earlier, a few hours ago, there's like 1,300 people have been watching that. It's like, what's going on? I should have a bit of a look since it's gone nuts. Anyway, hang on, I'll go back to here. Share stuff instead. Yes, that was awesome. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hearsay for Days Mark 2 today. And I'm going to sign out. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you for joining me. Peace.